Welcome to Samridhi Space, a space to pause, reflect, and grow. Today, I want to ask you a simple question. When was the last time you paused and asked yourself, how am I doing? Not your job, not your responsibilities, and not what others expect from you, just you. In today's fast paced world, many of us know how to care for others and, in fact, everybody else, but we struggle to understand ourselves. The person who is joining us today in this journey has spent years listening to people's story, helping them reflect on their lives through coaching, graphotherapy, and other practices. But today we are not here to talk about techniques, we are here to talk about people and to discuss what keeps us stuck, what helps us to heal, and why choosing ourselves often feels so difficult. So let's start. Hi, Nidhi. Thank you so much for being here and being the part of this journey where self love it's not equal to being selfish. And I'm so happy that you make some time to be the part of this. I'm glad you're here today.
Thank you so much, Samriddhi, for considering me. And I'm happy to share my insights with you.
Well, I'm too excited. So, Nidhi, a straight question for you. Before you become a coach, who were you? Like, who is Nidhi?
Yes. So before that, I was working in a corporate job. I was in a US-based MNC company, and I was in a risk profile, operations risk profile, and I was working as a senior assistant manager. And after that, it was around 11 years of my experience in the corporate. And then I left my job and moved to US for a while, for a few years, and then we came back in November 2020. And since then, I'm just exploring and on the self transformation journey. And now I'm into healing and coaching others.
Fantastic. That's a long journey and lots of twists and turns. I'm really excited to know your journey and also share a few things which our people can resonate with us. So, was there any phase in your life when you also struggled to choose yourself?
Yes, I think that is also one of the main turning point of my life where I had a, very bad breakup in a relationship. I had a really bad breakup, and then of course the families were also involved. And then that time I realized my self-worth, and the biggest regret for a few years was why I didn't choose myself, why I didn't take a stand for myself. So that was there. But yes, with some other techniques and, a lot of things that I did upon myself, I released all those regrets. But yes, definitely that was a turning point in my life where I started, after which I started taking stand for myself. I realized my own worth, what I like, what I want to do, and what I don't want to do. And in fact, I got to know the true colors of people as well. So my thinking and my realizations, and more importantly, my relationship with myself changed a lot after that breakup of my, relationship.
Got it. So, when you're talking about, it was so difficult to choose yourself, or you were waiting for one turning point so that you can leave your the past version and become yourself. What do you think influenced you, and also what do you think influenced a lot of people? Because a lot of time this happens, be it a man or women, or since the childhood. A lot of times, we won't be fortunate enough to be that authentic self. A lot of from the society influences or the people influences, or the kind of the practices or the beliefs that the family have, they try to make a child grow up in certain way where after some time the person feel, okay, that is not me. Myself is entirely different, and we wait for one turning point. Okay, when this happens now, I can leave my past version and I can be myself. So we wait for that. In fact, to make it more easier, we wait to live the life. rather than just living that life happily since the childhood. We live all our childhood, it happens with most of the people, where they feel this is not myself. Yeah, whenever I see myself, no, this is not me. I want to do something else, but something is not allowing me. And what do you think? What was influenced you? And in general, what will influence people? Is it more about the practices or beliefs that people have, or is it the people itself who surrounds you?
So, with my own personal experience, my own personal journey, and the people whom I have coached, Samriddhi, I would say there are so many factors. Of course, there are many internal factors, there are many external factors. There is a lot of conditioning that happens on a baby since the time they are born, or maybe after they cross their toddler age or so. We as parents we do a lot of conditioning. Once the kid starts going to school, college, then the peer pressure, the expectations of teachers. And nowadays we were still lucky that that time social media was not there. But think about the kids who are growing up, and they have so many things. They are expecting something from themselves, their parents are expecting, their teachers are expecting, and plus there is social these social media, YouTube, Instagram, which shows something, which only shows the brighter side or the positive sides. Nobody talks about the struggles that they have gone through.
Very true.
Although there are few who have started stating their maybe spirituality journey or their self transformation journey, but still there are very few in number. More or less you see a lot of people who just highlight their achievements, but rarely they will talk about the struggles that they have gone to. So yes, coming back to your question, a lot of conditioning goes, and there are a lot of internal factors also, which main being the doubts, the fears that we have. And those fear could be, majority of the fears are not even realistic. We just build stories around fears. We have not even experienced. We have just seen, we have just heard the stories. Or as parents also scare kids to try something new. So I would say a lot of factors are there, and we cannot actually generalize, and we cannot even say the gender biased also, because men also are going through very vulnerable states like fear, doubts, and a feeling of I am not worthy, and equally for the women as well. So yeah, a lot of things are there.
True. I think the pressure of social media is real for today's kid. As you mentioned, we see 99% of positive, but of course, there are 1% of people who are showing the reality and who are utilizing that in a great way. But there are a lot to go with that also. And people, it's high time where, they should. I always say this, we always have the choice to enjoy this moment and live this moment, but most of the times instead of enjoying the moment we are so into it that, and I want to show this to the people what I'm doing. For example, simple thing of eating food. Nowadays we have forgotten how to enjoy the food. We are so in hurry to take the picture and send it to the people. Okay, see, this is what I'm eating. And we go to the concerts, or we go to any kind of say retreats or anything for our inner peace to enjoy. But more than enjoying it, we are so busy with taking the tiny box out and recording it, thinking, okay, in future I want to see the recording, but it just stays in the mobile, we never reopen it. And it's like we lost that present moment also. At the same time, we thought, okay, let me record instead of enjoying, so that I can see it after years, but we don't even do that. So it's high time for us to think about enjoying the moment, be in the present, and give that moment to ourselves, and live the life with the people around, with that moment which we can cherish a lot of a time and enjoy the life. Thank you so much for giving this wonderful point. So Nidhi, like, you have met so many people from different backgrounds. So what's one struggle you think most of the people has in common?
So Samriddhi, I have been blessed enough to work with, homemakers, entrepreneurs, corporate professionals, and students. And all these clients of mine have been from the age, I can say 8 years until 50 years of age people I have dealt with through various various healing, coaching, meditations, and all those practices. And when it, you won't believe, but every problem comes out to be as the one common issue. And deep down, people are struggling with only one thing, that I am not good enough. I am not worthy. Deep down, there is only just one issue, one common thinking that they have. You can call it overthinking. Someone can layer it as, being validating from people, from outer people, being staying there in comfort zones and constantly seeking validations or people pleasing. So these things have become very common these days. And as we said, social media, we compare our life with others. But if you notice, if you speak to these people, I have only come to know that there is just deep down one thing: I am not good enough, I am not worthy. You can name it, package it, label it, any package you can do, but it's just one reason. And as a transformational coach and healer, and I have realized that the transition helps the moment a person stops trying to be someone else. They know their own, what are their needs, what do they want, and what do they actually enjoy doing. So basically the transformation happens once you connect with your own self. That's the only thing that I have realized. And that is how I have been able to coach and heal people.
That's nice. Just continue with the same points you have mentioned. We have disconnected as a human, as a creature of this world or the universe. We have disconnected with ourselves so much. We can't see our worth or what we are so much that we started being so much hard on ourselves. Being a human, of course, we had been hard on the other creatures, could be animals, nature, animals, where we were showing one or the other way our frustration, anger on the nature, on the animals, and humans started destroying it. I think now human beings like we have reached that level of destroying ourselves, being so hard on ourselves. Well, I think so. But what is your take on this? When you compare our previous generations, they were kind for themselves. They were kind for the people around. They were kind for the nature, the other creatures. They were also believing it's not only human rights to be on this earth, but the other creatures also have the same rights. We don't have any rights to destroy them. But now, if you see, a lot of things are changing. It has become really worst. Of course, we are not saying it. Nobody was there. Of course, there was a blending of good people, bad people, or maybe people are doing right and wrong. That time also there might be people who are being hard on themselves or hard on other creatures, but when we compare the ratios, the percentage, now it's extremely high. So what's your take on this thing?
Yes, definitely. So, our previous generations, our ancestors were so blessed and they were actually so aware. The oneness that we learn in today's world from our coaches also, that we all are one. We are just learning it, but our ancestors, the previous generations, they practiced it. They didn't consider. So in the previous times also, I have learned and heard these stories from my mother about my maternal grandmother, my nani, that she was so generous and such a kind-hearted lady that even the neighbors used to drop their children for few hours, that we are going for some work and please take care of our kids. And she herself had 5 kids. She never said that no, because when she passed away, so many people were appreciating. She was such a kind-hearted person. So this is the one personal example that I'm quoting you, that previous generations, and in this time, it's people are so comparing themselves, competing with not just themselves, but with others. That people, this generation, we don't have time to, forget about taking care of other kids. This generation is hardly keeping 2 kids also. So, yes, we are so much disconnected. I would not say again social media, but our own aspirations, our comparisons, the lifestyle that we want to have, and the salary and everything, the whatever is there. So these things are actually stopping us. So this oneness, which we are learning these days, that at the universal level, we all are one. These things were practiced by our ancestors, which we should definitely start practicing now more.
Exactly. And just to add this point, when we are talking about being so hard on ourselves or being hard on the other creatures, we are certainly not talking that you're being aspiring to do something or taking care of yourself, or whether you want to keep yourself isolated or to be with the people you love to. It's obviously up to you. But what we're trying to say here is, even in the previous talk, when I was connected with Diksha, we were discussing the same thing. We are doing the extreme things. Either we love ourselves to extreme that we forget everything, we start destroying the whole other creatures, or we become so self sabotage, and we become so much of in that guilt or zone that we completely forget ourselves, and we are just drain ourselves by giving everything to others. So, what is important right now is to create and to know, to understand the beautiful balance between you can take care of yourself, at the same time, you can also give to others the same kind of love, same kind of compassion, same kind of the care and kindness for the people. So, when we are talking about being kind to others, it's also equally important to be kind to yourself and create that beautiful balance, so that we are being grateful for what we have, from the universe or from the god or even from the nature that we are getting. Ultimately, I think it's important for a human to understand, don't do the extreme things like do everything or nothing. Just try to find the beautiful balance. And technology or the growth that we are seeing right now in these years, which is happening, rapid growth, rapid changes, the revolution, which is good. But it's like a fire. We have the choice how to use
Hmm.
it. You either use it to cook the food and nourish the people, or you can use it to destroy also. So we just
Very
have to
true.
be much more in terms of conscious enough to use the things without harming even us, also without harming others. I think this is what we are trying to tell the people, and I'll be happy if people can find that beautiful balance of loving themselves and loving others, and being kind to themselves and being kind to others as well. And moving ahead, Nidhi, what's the biggest lie you think people believe about themselves?
So, biggest lie I would say that people feel are that, like I said, that they are not good enough because everything is already there. When we talk about oneness, the universal's energy, universal's power, everything is already there in the human being. But the problem is that we feel so disconnected with ourselves that we don't realize what is our true potential, what is the purpose of my life. These are the main questions, big questions with which I think probably every human being is born on this earth. But we somehow lose that, that connection with ourselves, that it makes us, compare ourselves with others, and it makes our journey very, very painful.
I understand. I think just to simplify this, tell me if I'm right, if I have understood this proper. What you mentioned is, a lot of times when we find any kind of challenges or we need some kind of, answers, we often check the answers or try to find the answers outside in the outer world, rather than just, finding ourselves inside the inner world. Like, all we have to do is just spend some time with yourself, and understand yourself better, so that you know everything about yourself. Now we are so much busy that we are trying to understand people through social media. Oh, what is happening in their life? Oh, what
Exactly.
are they doing? You know everything about what the person you're following on the Instagram or social media doing. In fact, a lot of people, I mean, with all due respect, you know every single thing happening with your favorite celebs. The time they wake up till they go to bed, you know every action, what they are doing, what they are eating, what their favorites. But very often we forget about what I want to do in my life. Is this really what I want to do, or is this really making me happy? Or what exactly I have to do? What matters to me, or what matters to my family members, my friends? once we start looking into ourselves, I think it becomes easier. And this is one thing we believe, I know about myself everything well. I think probably that's the lie we
Yeah.
believe in, and it's time for us to work on
And I
it.
also want to add one more point.
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah. So another thing is, which you said is perfectly correct. And another thing is that they feel that if I get something, I will become happy. If I get this job, I will become happy. If I marry this person, I will be happy. And if I, lose this much amount, this much kgs, these many kgs or pounds of my weight, I will then look nice. So these are also the things that people believe that finally, I will be happy when I have this person or job or this much money or the perfect shape of my body. So they forget that once they feel good from within, only then they can have or acquire those things in life. First, they have to start believing in themselves. First, they have to feel that happiness also before they get that thing. Because many a times it happens that they get their goal, they achieve their goal, they manifest the amount that they want, but then still they feel emptiness in their life, in themselves.
Exactly, exactly. Thanks for coming up with this point. That's really, very thoughtful. And yeah, and for the next question, Nithi, why is self-love so difficult for so many people? Like loving themselves feels like, oh my God, I can't do that.
With my coaches and with people whom I have spoken to, I can very confidently say that self-love, these people who say that, they actually struggle with self-permission. So one thing is there which troubles them is self-permission. Women of, of 30 to 45 years of age who come to me for confidence classes or the coaches or anything, they have this kind of guilt. They want to improvise themselves, but then they feel that taking out 20 minutes of time for even the parlor session in case they have to go, or even if they have to do a meditation session or anything, they feel they have to take a permission if they have to indulge in that 20 minutes of session on their own self. So that is the thing that I have noticed, that self permission is the real struggle. And self love becomes really difficult because nobody teaches us these things. Our mothers have also not taught when we were growing. We were not taught. The school curricular also doesn't talk. Now we realize these things, that choosing ourselves is not about rejecting others. If I am choosing myself for 20 minutes of meditation session, I am not rejecting my daughter. I am not rejecting my family. I have just blocked for my entire 24 hours. I have just blocked somewhere 20 minutes for myself, for my own well-being. Because once I am only full, I can give others. I am in a better position to love others, to serve others, to connect with people others, be it family, be it clients or anyone. So yes, that's my take on that, on the
Thank you
self-love.
so much for that. Yeah. So, Nithi, next question. What does self-love actually look like in everyday life?
That's a very good question. And like we were discussing the social media, again, the self-love is not only about going to spa. How many days in a month you can go to spa? You cannot go every day. And it's not about the vacation, the perfect vacation. Vacations also can happen 4, 5, or 6 times in a year maximum. And it's not also about the gifts that you buy for yourself. Self love is much, much, much simpler than the things that are being shown in Instagram. It can be as basic and as simple as sleeping on time when the Netflix says one more episode, or when
Very
your
true.
best friend says, when you're very tired and your best friend says, it's Friday, let's go out, let's have some drinks. Saying no at that time also because you are tired, you want to sleep on time. That is also self love. So, self love can be very simple. So, it doesn't have to be very fancy. And it's like you can say to yourself at times, if I have to talk about internal factors also, it's like you can gently and lovingly say to yourself, I made a mistake, without calling yourself or labeling yourself as a failure, or torturing yourself that I'm not, I didn't perform well, I didn't do good. So that is also self-love. Just, be there and acknowledge that thing. And it's like, even if you are in an argument with someone, with your loved one or anyone, it's like choosing your peace of mind. That is again self-love. You choose to walk out of that argument, or you just settle down and accept it, or apologize if needed, or forgive other person, just for the sake of your peace of mind. So it can be as simple as that also. So another thing that I have realized is that we make so many promises to ourselves, knowingly or unknowingly. Many a times we give ourselves a lot of promises. Tomorrow I will do this, I will make a video, I will go to gym, I will go to salon, or anything. We give ourselves promises, but every time, when we break that promise, it somewhere breaks the trust that we have upon ourselves. So that is also a self-love. Forgive that thing. If you were not able to fulfill that promise, don't let that trust break piece by piece. Just acknowledge it, and next time fulfill the promise that you do to yourself. That's also very important.
That's fantastic. I think the one point which is very, very important, which suits for present moment, which you mentioned, is take care of your health. I think that's the biggest, and more precious gift that we have got for free. And because we have got it for free, a lot of people we are taking it for granted. And we say even to spend 5 minutes for the walking or 10 minutes for the workouts, we say, I don't have time. Not today. We'll start it from tomorrow. And even to eat or even to say no to the people or friends or family when they offer you some unhealthy foods, we feel so guilty that अरे यार मैं कैसे मना करूं इतना प्यार से दे रहे हैं. So that's not love. You start loving yourself, start loving your body, your health, so that you can say no प्यार से. And even they'll start learning from you. Okay, probably first day, second day, they might turn, they might tell you, अरे you are rejecting my I am इतने प्यार से मैंने
Hmm.
आपको बनाई थी. But then people will understand, and by looking at you they'll become more conscious about their health. I think that's the fantastic thing that we can do for ourselves. And also, Nidhi, a lot of people have that the concept or myth. They think the moment I start loving myself, I become too less caring towards others. I don't care enough for the others. So, what's your take on this? Do really people don't care others when they if they start loving themselves?
No, in fact, I feel they care for others more better. When you yourself are full, just imagine that you are having a cup of coffee. Your cup is full. Only then you can offer it to someone else. If you yourself don't have any coffee in your cup, how can you give it to others? So I have personally felt this, that whenever I'm in a, I have spent some good time on my self care or self routine. For me, meditation and working on something for my career is the most self love things. I love enjoy doing things. I love doing these things. So whenever I do that, I feel very, you know, I feel more present towards my family. I'm more present towards them, because then that time nothing is going on in my mind. And if it is relating to meditation, I have done some meditation. I have done all the clearing which was there. So I'm more present towards my clients, towards my coaches, towards my family. And when you don't love yourself, I have feel is that you often then help people because that's from the afraid point of view. Then you feel that if I don't, care for them, if I'm not present to them, if I don't love them or reciprocate the love in their language, then probably they will leave me. They will not love me, they will not like me, and probably they might leave me. So that time, if you are not in that state of mind, that you have never experienced self love, and when you go to love other person, you will have that kind of fear in your mind. You will not be a very fulfilled person that particular point of time. And
Wonderful.
yes, you have to be wholeheartedly available. There shouldn't be any guilt around. If we are here, I'm wholeheartedly present to you. This time I'm not guilty of not spending time with my daughter, or not doing anything else. So yes, it's very important, and it's very critical also. Such people are the best people, I would say.
It's just like mirroring. The moment you start loving yourself, it automatically, you don't have to force yourself to do something for others, because now we are fulfilled. It comes easily and effortlessly for us to give that love, give that respect and kindness to others. Wonderful. And what do you think the difference between being confident and showing the ego?
I feel that is many a times misinterpreted by people these days. There is kind of a fine line, and it's very easy to, you know, differentiate between a confident person and an egoistic person. But it is confusing for people. So, if I have to talk about a confident person, so confidence is like when you walk inside a room, you are like, you feel that yes, I know who I am, I know my worth. And when an egoistic person or ego enters a room, it's like, I hope people are noticing me, I hope everyone notices me and gives me attention. And confidence will never be the loudest person. In a social gathering, also, you will notice a person who will be egoistic will be more louder than a confident person. He will be most humble and the nicest. That is also one of the difference. And a person who will be confident will always be open and receptive towards learning from a younger person from their age. And an egoistic person will refrain, that how can I learn from this person, he's much younger than me, how can why should I approach it. So confident person can approach a person very nicely, but a egoistic person will find it hard to approach a person, to shake hands first, and approach or learn from a younger person. So the more secure you become within yourself, the less you feel that there is a need to prove yourself to others. So that is the confidence is all about.
That's the beautiful the explanation to understand more about how that looks to be egoistic and how that looks to be more confident. And thank you so much for that, Nidhi. Just one thing I would love to understand, because you're working with so many people, through your coaching sessions. So have you ever helped somebody, like, is there any case study or anybody that you coached, um, they realize them about themselves something that they never noticed before? Or if you would like to share, and if it is okay to share with people, who any one person who understood, okay, this is something I never knew, but after maybe talking to you or taking coaching session from you, they realized that side of them.
Yeah, there are actually quite a few, but once. So this is the recent one. Actually, a lady came to me for the coaching, and the reason for her was that she felt that she didn't have the confidence. She used to feel very lack of confidence, when applying for job, or when she was, because she took a gap, some years gap after her baby. So when we started analyzing her and we started discussing, so I realized that I asked her one question. When did you first start believing that your voice didn't matter? Since it was relating to confidence, she was not able to, communicate properly to her in-laws. She was not able to get through the interview calls, to the interviews. So I asked her this question specifically, and she felt silent. She became silent, and after a few questions and all, after spending some minutes on this question only, we came to the conclusion that she was the youngest child of the house. She had three elder siblings, and she, being the youngest, all of them at times took decisions for her,
Hmm.
dominated her. So her voice was always dejected or suppressed by her siblings and plus by her parents also. So nobody paid attention to her viewpoints. So slowly and gradually, she stopped, asking for herself, and she never gave herself permission to choose herself. Whether it was deciding her clothes, whether deciding the college, whether deciding the stream after to be taken after plus two, if after 10th class, the stream that she had to choose, everything was decided by her siblings and her parents. Nobody, asked to chose to ask her what she wants. And then when we realized this thing, and when there were, I practiced various coaching and healing techniques with her, and within a few months of coaching and healing, she completely became a different person. Currently, after a very long time, she is working within MNC. She is having good salary, and she is a pretty good, confident person nowadays. So yes, this was the case that came to mind when you asked me about the one particular case scenario.
Yeah, I think probably, hopefully, it is reducing nowadays for this generation where they have that freedom of to decide, to do trial and errors. Some people are, the previous generation, the parents were too, afraid or scared to see their children fail. But now it has become learning for them. They try new things and they feel they again learn from that. I think most of the times it just becomes much pressure for women, because they always think it's okay for the son to fail because they think men anyways they learn. But for the women it is always expected that you should win every time, or you should not try something new, especially when it's come to the finance part, business part. They think it is all made for men, so you don't understand the statistics, you don't understand the mathematics. So even if you want to invest in something, they don't allow her to give it a try and fail and learn from it and then grow, rather than they always want to treat her like, okay, take the advice, take the suggestion, we'll help you. I mean, we understand you care for us, you care for the women in the family, but at the same time it is, be it a man or women, maybe your parents or children, there will be one point of time where if we are not there, if something happens to us, the other person in your family should be having that independent liberty to live their life. Of course, maybe when something happens, people will learn gradually after years. Maybe they feel that dependency 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but they learn gradually. But if we
Hmm.
can make them learn even when in our presence, if without creating that dependency, at least a lot of people, be it a man or women, parents or children, being independent is important for them. Having said that, it doesn't mean we are not asking you to be rude or not to help them or not to support. Helping, supporting, guiding, it's all the part of that love, affection and compassion. At the same time, we should also give them that confidence, yes, I can do it alone. So it's like,
Hmm.
they have that wings to fly. Sometimes we never know. Some people, we think they're just sparrows who can fly just around, but they can turn it into an eagle, which who can fly beyond this, the clouds. So we just have to give that freedom. And I mean, yeah, it's not even giving freedom, it's their rights. Just allow them to be themselves and explore the world. uh, Having said that, just be there as a guide and coach, or maybe even as a well-wisher, where they have that confidence. Yes, I if something goes wrong, also we have people who can love me, who can guide me, and I can still fly high. That's wonderful. I think this one story could bring us a lot of lessons and a lot of learnings for us. So yeah, if you have to talk about your journey, because you're into this coaching part, for a long time. So what's that one thing your work has taught you about human behavior?
So the one thing that I have learned as per my experience is we should stop comparing ourselves with others. First of all, very important. And another thing is that the real transformation or the real healing happens happens from within. We have to first heal ourselves. Only then the outer, situations will change. You cannot go and start fighting with others. You cannot start arguing with others. Why did you say like this to me? Why are you behaving like this to me? First, heal whatever is there. If there is fear inside you, there are doubts inside you, or there is the feeling of being dejected by others, or being having a feeling also like that my opinion doesn't matter. Whatever it is, the transformation which you want to bring outside, or the milestones that you want to achieve, will only be possible once you start acknowledging your emotions, and you heal the negatives ones and use the positive ones for your journey. So that is very important. Knowing, getting to know your own self. That's what I feel. And that's what I have believed in. That's what I have practiced. And that's what I tell my coaches also. You cannot go and fight with anyone and change anyone overnight. There is building and destruction, or everything takes time. So first start working upon yourself, and then see your outer world reflecting the changes inside you which are there.
It's wonderful. So, have you ever seen someone completely transforming their life after they understood about themselves?
Can I quote my story here?
Yeah, please. Yes, yes, please.
So, yeah, so I told you that I was working for 11 years in a US based, American based bank in Gurgaon. So I was there. Uh, After that, I went through PPD, postpartum depression, after giving birth to my daughter. And then all of a sudden, I quit my job. We went out. And that time, when I was a stay at home mom, that phase really taught me a lot. That phase actually broke me also. It shattered a lot of things of mine. We discussed ego and confidence. My ego were crashed into pieces. And then I started working upon myself. And if I have to quote one thing which I practiced as my transformation was meditation. I started with meditation, and once I got so much interested and so much into meditation that one day, if I'm not doing meditation, I used to feel very, incomplete. My day used to feel very incomplete, that I have not spent 5 minutes of meditation. So the self care which we spoke about, for me, that 5 minutes were my self care routine or my transformation. And then from once I started doing meditations, I realized many things. I healed many things. But yes, the one thing which for which meditation has magically worked for me is the right kind of support I started getting from outside people. The right kind of people started coming in, and whatever my questions, whatever my doubts were there, they came onto the surface, and I started getting the right kind of support. So yes, I would say. Meditation was the one which really transformed me. And after that, I practiced counseling and signature analysis and all other things, healing practices and everything. They gradually, step by step, came into my life. And plus, one more thing I want to say, everything, my outer circumstances were always good. My internal fight was the most fight I had was with my internal fight. So I conquered my, my internal enemies, and then I, learned and grew. And where I am today, once was there was a time around 7 8 years back, I was so confused where I have to go, what am I supposed to do. But see, this is also a transformation, that I am here. I am running my own YouTube channel. This is what confidence is. And I am talking to you. I am, so many people are watching us. So this is what the transformation is. This is what the confidence looks like. Yeah. And I'm really proud of myself that somewhere I say that there was one cell of my body out of all the trillions who were doubting myself. There was at least one cell who believed in me that yes, you have it in you. Don't quit. Don't question anyone. Don't question your capabilities. You are worthy. You have everything in you. So I'm really thankful to, God and maybe Lord Mahadev for hand holding me.
This is amazing. While you're talking, especially that one particular line you mentioned, I start working on myself, and automatically I started attracting the people who support me and guide me. This actually remembers me one line where we always learned yad bhavam tad bhavati. Like the way you are, you always see that in other person. If you're a good person, you always see the good thing. If you're a bad person, you always see the bad thing in other person. Well, I heard this line like almost my parents and everybody around, our elders always say, right? Just see good things. It's okay, even if you're doing wrong. I always had this question, how could you? I mean, how could you say that just because I'm pointing out bad when they are wrong? I said wrong, but you're telling me I am the wrong. Just because I am a bad person, I'm pointing it out. But later on, as we transform, as we learn, as I evolved, I understood the actual meaning of idbhavam tadbhavati. It's like the more when we have that cribbingness, or when we have sadness, or when we have in that negative zone, we also reflect the same thing. A lot of people come in front of us, who have the same kind of values or same kind of vibes. The moment we start working on
Hmm.
ourselves, our emotions, maybe we upgrade ourselves, automatically all those negative things will disappear, and we automatically attract the good things, the people who support us, who guide us. I think this is how the energy works in the universe.
Yes,
Normally, we say, in terms of science, opposite attracts the another opposite poles. But in real life, when you talk about emotions, when you talk about values, the like attracts the like. So the more I work on myself,
very true.
we'll automatically attract the good people around who can guide us, who can, actually support us. And probably for the people who are watching this, if you feel everything is going wrong in our life, I mean, I'm a good person, I'm doing everything, but still nobody is supporting us. I think it's time for you to pause, just reflect what is happening within you, stop finding the answers from the outer world, take some time for yourself, pause the life. It's okay. Take a day, take a couple of days, and check what is happening. Where you are reflecting, and start working on it, and automatically you should see the shift happening. For some people it happens in seconds, for some people it might take a week, some month. It's okay. Give yourself that much of time, so that you can see the wonder things happening in your life, because you are the wonderful creature. And if you're here on this earth, and we always say, right, being a human, it's a blessing. We have a lot of creatures, being animals, birds, a lot of other creatures, but only if you have a purpose, you'll born as a human. So if we are here, might be there is a plan, and sometimes we just have to see it. So take a pause, to reflect on what is happening and rewrite your own story. I'm sure you will attract a very beautiful life and amazing things happening around you. And Nithya, we are really grateful for you for sharing that, because that one line brought a lot of things happening in us, in our life as well. And I'm sure a lot of people watching us will, they might have also taught one incident from their life, and they'll be able to move ahead with that confidence again. So yeah, I think it's time to burst some myths around that we have, self love and self care. So I'll ask you certain sentences. I would love for you to complete the sentence. I'll tell you the first off and complete it with the second off. The first sentence is, people think self love means,
Being selfish,
but actually what it is.
it's about prioritizing yourself.
Perfect. And people think asking for help means what, and but what actually it means in reality.
So if people think that asking for help will make them small, but actually you can delegate, you can take help from people, and you can, delegate few things which are not very important for you, and you can focus on other things which are more important for you. So it's really a blessing. It's a very good trait to ask for help,
That's wonderful. And people think saying no means.
that you are being rude.
Okay, but what actually it means?
It again means that you are setting boundaries for what you want, what you like, and what you don't want to do or what you don't like. So it's about only setting the boundaries. You don't have to be available for all the hundred things which are happening in your surroundings or in your friends or families or colleagues' lives. You cannot deplete your energy on everything.
Okay, because you are talking about boundaries, just one more addition for this. What exactly boundary means? What people think and what exactly it is?
So boundaries means like I tell that what my priorities, I decide what my priorities are. It can be specific to that particular time. It can be specific to a particular, month also. So in case, you are a health coach as well. So you are a health coach and somebody has some party or they got some promotion and they get a sweet dabba for you and they are putting a big laddu on your mouth. So you have to say no that, I had my calorie counts for the day. I'll take it. I'm very happy for your promotion. I really like it. You have all my love and blessings for this milestone of yours. But I'll take this laddu. I'll eat it tomorrow. I cannot have it right now. So boundaries means you are just making yourself not comfortable or not available for anything or everything that is happening in your surroundings or in your loved ones groups. It's completely okay to have some kind of boundaries. One example I told you about the sweet. If you are on you want to achieve your specific health goal and somebody is celebrating their birthday. So you can simply say that I am on calorie count. I cannot exceed it because, uh, I am done with my sugar intake for today. So I'm really happy for your achievement, but I'll keep it and maybe I'll have it tomorrow. Something like this. You can do it.
That's amazing, Nidhi. So now we are in my favorite segment. I ask this one question to everybody who are the part of this journey. Self love. It's not being selfish because.
Self love is not selfish because when you are emotionally full yourself, you have more love to give to others. And you will be able to take care of others in a better way when you yourself are feeling emotionally full from within. That's my viewpoint.
That's beautiful. And finally, for everybody who are watching us and who are being the part of this journey, what is that one thing you want to tell them for someone who are tired in their life and who have spent years, doing things for always thinking they should make other people happy, and they don't even remember what they enjoy more, like in what they enjoy most in their life anymore. What is that one thing you want to tell them?
Okay. So I would say to such people who have never, listened these things from any other loved one in their life, let me tell you, you don't have to earn your worth. You don't have to prove anything to anyone that you deserve love or you deserve a better health or relationship, anything. You don't have to prove it. And you are already enough. Just believe in that. And remember, you don't lose yourself in one day and you don't build yourself in one day. It takes years, if not years, then months and days of practices to heal. But it happens only when you decide that you matter too.
That's amazing, and I think this one particular thing make their weekends good, even our weekends so good. Because I always say this, I kept it on Sunday. The only reason is we know that a lot of people will wait with all of that excitement for Friday evening, but the moment it started Sunday evening, all the Monday blues comes into the head, and we'll start feeling that, oh my God, it's again Monday. again, a lot of things coming. So only with one intention, that when people being the part of this self-love journey, I all wanted them to do is enjoy their Sunday evening and enjoy their weekdays and start their weekdays with a lot of love, a lot of care, and a lot of excitement again. So thank you so much for being here, Nidhi. And as usual, it's immense pleasure for me to talk to you. And tell me, how was it for you? How was this journey like went for you?
I really enjoyed this session with you today, Samriddhi. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I'm so blessed to share my own transformation journey and a few incidents of, few case studies of my coaches as well. So thank you so much. And I just have one prayer to God that this reaches the right set of people who really need to listen this today. So thank you so much for having me here today.
My pleasure, and have a great weekend ahead. And I'm sure, like, people will enjoy this and they'll definitely take a lot of things from our talk. So, congratulations for us, and congratulations for everybody who are being the part of this journey. And thank you so much, Nithi. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks.
Sometimes the answer we are looking for aren't somewhere outside us. Sometimes they begin with one honest conversations with ourselves. If today's conversation encouraged you to pause, reflect, and look at yourself with a little more compassion, then we have achieved exactly what we hoped to do. Thank you for joining us at Samridhi Space. And if you would like to show love towards this journey, and if you want to be the part of this journey, please do subscribe for this channel so that you never miss any notifications from you. And as I always mention, share this with one person whom you think it can help them to change the way they look at themselves. And you can also give them the opportunity to pause and to reflect to their own life, and probably to accept and build their own life in the way they always wanted.